Welcome back, Wargamers. We are back with another edition, and this time we've got exciting confirmation of the Rogue Trader Skirmish game. So, originally we had posted a video the other day about the rumor that there was going to be a Rogue Trader Kill Team game, but now we're not seeing the Kill Team name assigned to it, so this could actually be a completely standalone game that would be kind of like Space Hulk or something like that, but it also shows miniatures being played on the open tabletop in addition to being played on a boarding type of scenario between ships. So what I want to show you is the teaser video from the official Games Workshop showing a quick flash of all of the different types of models that come in there, and then we're going to sit and analyze what we're seeing so far. And this appears to be the makings of a new box set, so this is very exciting news here. Let's go ahead and set it up so that way you guys can see the screen. Full screen. How does that work? Alright, that's not going to work for you guys. We'll just watch it up here in the upper left hand corner. So bear with me, and it may not have audio, but they start off as if you're intercepting a signal and then play some cheesy funk music, flashing through this real quick. They show you a lot of models here in a few seconds, and that's essentially it. Out goes a warning from the Inquisition. You've seen too much. There goes the logo that you've seen. So let's go ahead and take a look at these models from top to bottom and show you guys. Hang on a second. Let's go through and see what these guys are. So if you like seeing videos like this, little sneak peeks of what's out there, go ahead and hit the like button. I like digging into this sort of stuff. And if this is your first time on the channel, go ahead and make sure you hit the like button and subscribe as well. So let me get my ugly mug out of the way so we can focus on what is here in the photo. Alright, so here's what we've got. And we'll take a bit better look, and we've got the Nurgle, as we talked about from the rumor. These guys certainly appear to be rotting and bloated with Nurgle. We've got what look like giant fleas over here, 4 of them that seem to make up a small unit. We have 3 of these guys with metal masks on and different types of jumpsuits, kind of like a overgrown, because this looks like a 40 mil base, but it could be, actually it could be 25 mil, given the Imperial Navy, which is super exciting. So we've got 3 of those guys. We have what looks like smaller ones that are almost like halfway between a Nurgling and a human being, maybe even like plague children. Siamese ones here stitched together. But then we have bloat flies that seem to be together, the larger ones, as well as swarms of medium and small ones there. And this one, these are coming out of the helmet of one of the Imperial Navy. Now, I'm calling these guys the Imperial Navy here on the right-hand side. They certainly seem to be that. But they could be a mercenary unit, something like that. And in the upper right, we see what looks like sort of a noblewoman. So we have a female figure. Above her, faded out, we didn't see a very clear preview of it, but it appears to be some sort of medic, but they've got goo all over them. So I think, given that they're on the right-hand side of this battlefield facing the Nurgle army head-on, that this must be one of the Imperial characters, so like a medic of some sort for scenarios. Then you have the commander, presumably, with this crazy backpack on, and what looks like kind of like a Kalitas assassin. I might be wrong on that, but it looks to be an assassin. And then you have 4 of these large mutants, excuse me. So 4 of these large mutants of different types with different characteristics that we'll dive into here now that we've got some more photos. So let's take a close-up of this guy here. So he's got like a mutant arm that's kind of crab-like, and then on the other side he's got what looks kind of like a fly of some sort growing out of his other arm stump. And some horns growing out of everything. So very cool mutant. Hooves growing down below, kind of like a rhino. So he's an interesting folk. And then we've got this squad of the bloated guys. A little bit of a close-up of them. They've got similar mutations, which almost, you know, it doesn't look completely to be Nurgle. Although Nurgle is very dominant. These tentacles of sorts, sometimes they look like guts and tongues, and other times they look like octopi. And then these claws are looking more to be Slaneshi. So I don't know if they're just possessed by chaos in general, but comment below what you think. I definitely think Nurgle is the predominance here, although it could just be a general outbreak of chaos. And then here's some of the close-ups of the mutants, which we'll get a better look at here in a little bit. This was the guy in the back that we didn't get much of a close-up on, so I'm going to blow him up here. He's got like a mechanical arm coming out, mechanical legs, so he's more machine than he is human, but he's one of those 4 mutants that's quite interesting looking. I don't know what any of these guys are really called. Here's a focus on the female from the group, how she's got like a pistol and a saber of some sort, and her face appears to be mostly covered, so we don't know much about that character there, but that's pretty cool. It doesn't really seem to be Inquisition based, but more just like traditional Imperial. And then we have a small squad of these helmeted guys here with last guns, and they don't have a buttstock. And then we have a captain that has what looks like some type of auto shotgun and a last pistol. And then we have this guy here with the Air Force style cap on that has like a minigun, so that's pretty cool. We're seeing different weapons here, and this is what appears to be initially a standalone game, but I bet you these models are going to be able to be fielded either in a new type of Imperial army or into an Astra Militarum type army later on. So that was that squad. Let's get some more close-ups here. Let's not forget about their trusty Doberman. So a little close-up of that dog that we see there, distinctly Doberman, not just from the paint job. All right, let's see what else we got. So I tried to get a close-up of that medic in the back, but it's so blurry in the picture. They're using like a different focal length on the camera that intentionally blurs that character out. But it almost looks like something's coming out of their hands, like maybe like Edward Scissorhands or something. And I don't know if they're starting to get possessed because it looks like they've got goo and stuff like that on them already. So it's hard to say, but they seem to be carrying some type of kit and stuff. Definitely going to be a scenario-based game, kind of like Kill Team, or kind of like Space Hulk from the looks of it, and we'll get some more close-ups. Here's a close-up of that guy with the Air Force hat on and the minigun. Cool looking dude there. I just thought it was good because you got a better view of him kind of more head-on. Now here's a blow-up of the bulkhead style like tabletop game. So I'm assuming that there's some sort of map that'll come in this new box set, of which we'll then be able to get the terrain pieces as well, kind of like what you do with Necromunda. So even that small unit of flies of sort there, they didn't stand out on the other picture, so I guess I didn't see them individually, but let's see if we can find that medic character here in this screen. No, I don't think I see that one. I see some interesting, some cool stuff, but you know what this reminds me of, this game in general? If you remember Mike McVeigh's Kickstarter, it's a highly successful Kickstarter, but unfortunately poor game. He had one called like Battle for Alabaster, and let me see if I can pull that up, because this kind of reminds me of like the plague outbreak on the Battle for Alabaster. So we'll get into some more of the other miniatures here, but I wanted to drag out a search screen and bring that up for you guys. And now Mike McVeigh used to be a painter for Games Workshop, and then Sedition Wars, that's what it was called. So he had created this game called Sedition Wars that was massive on Kickstarter, raised like almost $1 million, right? So in this game there were plague zombies of different types of infections, and then there were types of Imperials, and you played on Space Hulk style ships, and they even had like glow-in-the-dark ones, crystal clear ones to represent stealth camo, stuff like that, and you played on different maps. And this is what this new Rogue Trader is making me feel like, and there's even throwbacks to different, or nods to different science fiction things. But the models in this game were rather cool. And although this is more Halo looking in their armor style, it still has a lot of that same feel that we're seeing here with the Games Workshop Rogue Trader game. So let's dive into some more of the models. So here's a close-up of one of the mutants, and I'll shrink him down so you can see him. But because he's got like this squid-like stuff coming out of him, I almost wonder if that was, and there's a fish here, like was there a mishap? There's even a person poking out of the gut there with the staples holding it shut. This one's just an odd creature, definitely a bloated fellow of some sort. Now here's what could be the captain, but could be an astromech or something like that. He could be the navigator that brought the people here, especially because he has like a radar for the beeps, the sweeps, and the creeps. But he's got like some type of plasma type of pistol, which makes him interesting. And then he has the sigil or the seal of what looks like the Adeptus Mechanicus there, or Adeptus Titanicus. I'm not quite sure, but it definitely looks to be like the Titans. Here's a close-up of the what we'll call the assassin. So they've got like a katana of some sort, and then they have sort of a female Japanese style haircut, and then they've cut one of the heads off the creatures there, proudly displaying that. So that's an interesting one. Maybe a blaster on the shoulder there. So and some type of grenade. So a lot of war gear going around. That was a better close-up of the same character and the logo. So that brings us to the end. So I'd like to see what you guys think about it. It says it's going to be available late 2018, so maybe this will be something that we start to see towards the winter time. But it's interesting how we saw it just from a rumor the other day. We made a short video on it thinking like, oh, okay, you know, this has about a 50-50 shot of actually being legit, but it's still really intriguing and interesting. Maybe they'll give us news at Warhammer Fest, and boom, here we are before Warhammer Fest with news of the Rogue Trader standalone skirmish combat game in the 41st Millennium. So love to see what your guys' thoughts are on this. You guys have been so great to make sure you leave your comments, create a discussion, and as always, I comment back to you guys. Appreciate the new subscribers. We'll get to announcing some of you guys here in our next video, but I'm wrapping this one up.